Who's ready for a field trip?
My name is Brad. I'm an education specialist for the Detroit Zoological Society, and today looks a little different than normal. Today I'm actually in the Matilda R. Wilson Free Flight Aviary at the Detroit Zoo. And you might be wondering, why am I here today? Well, I wanted to bring you all along on an adventure today to one of my favorite spots at the zoo. The Free Flight Aviary is an immersive habitat where we can see birds flying around in a habitat that looks a lot like where you would find them in the wild. So please come along on this journey with me, and we're going to do some bird watching, as I like to call this segment, Bird Watching with Brad. But first, let's take a look at some vocabulary words and some of the different skills we're going to be working on today.
So our vocabulary words for today, the first word is dimorphic, which means that there's two distinct forms of something. So one thing could look two different ways. The next word is plumage, which is a way to describe feathers that cover a bird and their size, their shape, their color, the overall pattern of the bird's feathers. And the last word is juvenile, which refers to something that is young.
Now that we have an idea of some of the vocabulary words and some of the different skills we're working on today, let's take a walk through the aviary. So when we first enter the aviary, we're going to see this large tree and this water feature, but immediately what I saw was actually these two birds right up here.
The Jambu fruit dove is a small, colorful forest dove that inhabits mangrove swamps and rainforests in the countries of Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, and Brunei. Listen closely while in the Matilda R. Wilson Free Flight Aviary, you can hear their soft cooing. They're usually described as shy birds who spend their time roosting, nesting, and feeding, and usually you will only see them alone or in pairs. They are sexually dimorphic, which means males and females differ in appearance. Think about cardinals or red-winged blackbirds that are common in North America. Males have a crimson face, a white chest, and a pink patch near their throat, while the females have a light purple face and a green chest. The Jambu fruit dove usually lays 1 or 2 eggs, and the egg is cared for by both the male and the female for 2 to 3 weeks. The parents never leave the egg unattended. One will always stay in the nest while the other is looking for food. Here you can see the appropriately named Scarlet Ibis. The range of the Scarlet Ibis is very large, and colonies can be found throughout areas of South America and the Caribbean. Adult plumage is virtually all scarlet. The feathers might show some various tints and shades, but otherwise they're completely red, except for a small tint of black on the tips of their wings. Currently you can see some juvenile Scarlet Ibis here at the Detroit Zoo, but they will look a little different than their parents. The juvenile plumage is a mix of gray, brown, and white. As they get older, they will develop their adult plumage. They develop this deep scarlet color because of their diet, which is rich in crustaceans like shrimp, crabs, and crayfish. Their distinctive long and thin bills are used to probe for food in soft mud or under plants. The Scarlet Ibis is a very, very social bird, unlike the Jambu fruit dove who likes to stay alone or in pairs. They're very community-minded when they search for food and even in protection of young. They live in large flocks, usually of 30 or more, and when they are building their nests, they stay close together. They try to arrange their nests in close proximity. Next on my journey through the Free Flight Aviary, I ran into this guy. This is the Spur-winged Lapwing. You will see them running around on the ground. They are a type of shorebird. It's really easy to recognize the Spur-winged Lapwing because it's got this unmistakable look. They have these very long legs. They have a black crown on their head and these red eyes. And they also have this very striking call. Almost kind of sounds like an alarm clock going off. This species, they prefer marshes and similar freshwater or wetland habitats. The food the spur-winged lapwing eats are insects and other invertebrates that it picks up off the ground. The spur-winged lapwing also gets its name because it has these small little claws on their wings, which they'll sometimes use as a way to defend themselves or their nest from animals. And now as we're looking at this lapwing, look at this other bird over here. This bird right here is the gray-capped emerald dove. Though it has lots of other names, it can also be known as the common emerald dove, or the green dove, or the green-winged pigeon. They're pretty common throughout India and Southeast Asia. The gray-capped emerald dove can be identified when you're in the free flight aviary by its iridescent green feathers and that gray cap that it looks like it has on its head. When you are in the Matilda R. Wilson Free Flight Aviary, and if you are looking for the gray-capped emerald dove, my suggestion is to look down. They are terrestrial birds. They like to spend a lot of time on the ground. That's where they can find a lot of the food they eat.
Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I will see you all in the Matilda R. Wilson Free Flight Aviary.